Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since you guys have seen me back here, so I'm coming with some heat and I hope you guys are ready. So the first thing we're going to get into is priming the face. So when I prime the face, I always like to apply the primer in the first four big section of the face, which is the forehead, the cheeks, and the chin. Now we're gonna apply foundation the same way. And of course, I like to use my beauty blender and my sponge when I blend the face out. You can only get flawless skin unless you use a brush first, then sponge. It's the only way. You gotta do it. And let me correct myself. I mean, you have to use your brush first and your sponge. So make sure I correct myself. But now we're just blending this in because it has to be flawless, 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 flawless. And now we're gonna highlight. So when we highlight, we go down the length of the nose and the width of the eyes. And then we're going to blend this out and set with our Mercier translucent powder right underneath the eyes. You really have to keep in mind when you're doing this step that you're just bouncing the product in place, you know, not dragging it, because if you drag it, you're gonna have harsh lines, and we do not want that at all. Now we're gonna highlight the nose, cupid's bow, and chin, and you're gonna blend it out the same way. You just want to bounce that product in place. We're just not trying to move it all over the place because we do not want to be 2 shades lighter. Now it is time to chisel out that face, honey. So we're going to take the KKW contouring stick in dark. And I like to put this around the forehead, the cheeks, and of course I like to run across the nose. I really wish I would have contoured the nose first and then highlighted it, but it's okay. So now we're just gonna blend this out along the sides of the face, and then we're gonna set with the Morphe Glamour Bronze powder in Megastar. It's giving, and it's giving real flawless. I just love how easily it just blends in with the skin. Like, what? Look at this. You see me taking my smaller defining brush. I'm just dragging that contour up and down the sides of the nose, and I'm just blending it up into the front of the eyebrow. This just helps me prepare for me starting the eyebrow process, just so that it just looks a lot more flawless. The Morphe Glamour Bronze powder may have been the best product that I ever found because it just makes the skin look so airbrushed. Like, it's like a perfect bronzer. Like, it gives off the best coverage. And then I also like to take my Ulta Beauty finishing powder right after I'm done, just to blend the highlight and the contour together, just so everything just looks so more seamless and flawless, because we want good skin. We want to look like ourselves, you know? And I also take that Ulta Beauty finishing powder and I just run it down the bridge of the nose and underneath the eyes just to brighten it up a bit. To get the soap brow look, I take my Duo Lash Glue, just take a little bit of it, apply it on my spoolie, brush the hairs up straight, keep them in place and let it dry. Then I take my Morphe Fluidity Full Coverage Concealer and I just apply that only to the brow bone. I do not apply it to the front. And then I just like to blend it out, just keep it in place so there's no flashback. And now that I have it blended out flawlessly, I like to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powder, and I like to just take my small angled brush and I like to give the eyebrows some very hair-like strokes so that it looks a bit more natural. When I'm applying this product, I always like to make sure that I'm only applying it to the areas that need the powder. I usually don't like to place it on top of the hairs because it will make them darker. So I just like to put it in the areas where there are no hair, which is usually the tail end, and I just like to add a little bit of hair strokes in the front as well. Now that I have that done, I'm just going to conceal the top on both sides and just blend it out with another flawless brush just to make sure that there is no flashback. Now we're going to take our Morphe eyeshadow primer and apply this to both eyelids, very flat so that the eyeshadow applies perfectly. And then we're going to take our Mercier translucent powder and set both eyelids so the eyeshadow stays in place. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the 25A palette by Morphe, and we're just going to take those first neutral shades for transition shades and just blend those out in the crease. Now that I am done with the transition shades, I'm going to move on with the crease shade, which is about a bit darker, and I'm just going to build that up in the outer corner of her eyes, just giving her that outer V. I wanted to keep it very neutral, so now I'm going to blend out that crease. We're just going to cut it a little bit just so we have a nice flawless base. I used the Morphe eyeshadow primer and the ColourPop concealer in 00 Fair. And then I'm going to take my eyeshadow palette by Kat Von D. It's an old palette, so honestly I have no idea what the name of it is, but it came with Too Faced, and that white in there is so pigmented, so I had to use it. I like to just take that and just press it on the lid. And of course, we're going to do this same technique to this other eye. Now that the crease is cut, we're just going to take those extra transition shades and blend them forward and apply them to the bottom and apply white eyeliner to the water eyeline. Now that that is done, we're going to apply wing liner, and then I wanted to add a little bit of pop of white to the bottom just to give it a little bit of, a little we had to do that. Now we're going to take this little white sparkle that I have and highlight the inner corners. Then we're going to highlight the bridge of the nose, the point of the nose, and of course the cheeks. I like to apply it on both sides. Then we're going to apply our Juvia's Place blush just to give her some little rosiness on the cheeks. And then we're going to apply our lip liner. These lip liners are so creamy. I just got them in the mail and I love them by ColourPop. They're so bomb. And then we're going to use the Maybelline Super Ink lip. We wanted to give a nude lip. And then we're going to apply some lip gloss. I like to use a clear on top because it just makes the colors pop a lot more on the lips, and I love that. We're gonna pop on some strip lashes just because this is a dramatic look. And that is it, honey. So I just want you guys to comment down below how you like this look. It was just so flawless. I just wanted to give my friend a little something, a little dramatic, a little something different. And I want you guys to tell me how you like it. I will be sure to come back with some more heat.